Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thanks for tuning into another Supatease video. And in today's video, I'm going to be giving you a quick rundown on how to optimize your character for Season 2 of Midnight. There are a lot of great improvements coming to PvP, and there are some changes as well to how the gear and equipment are going to work that you're going to want to know about. And I'm also going to give you some tips on how to maximize your gains as far as gold at the conclusion of Season 1 moving into Season 2. So right now I am live on the realms. It is Season 1. This first tip that I'm going to give to you is a tip to make a lot of gold before this season ends, because if you are not aware, you can go to the conquest vendor here in Silvermoon and scroll to the final page. You will see these boxes. So what's important with these boxes is that when you buy them and you open them, they will have a random piece of gear in them. Now obviously you are going to want to get a profession. I don't have it on this character, but you're going to want to get enchanting. The main reason you're going to get enchanting, you just go level it up in Silvermoon. I believe that it's like somewhere up here next to Murder Row. You get just level 1, doesn't matter, and you're going to disenchant all of this epic PvP gear from these boxes, and it sells for a lot of gold. So this, if you're just sitting on a truck ton of conquest right now, similar to me on multiple characters, otherwise it's just going to get deleted. So if you want to spend some time today while you're in your queues opening these boxes and disenchanting these, this is also good advice moving into Season 2 as well, because when we get to this point in the season, you're going to have that option as well, and it can be a good way if you don't have any alts to funnel the gear to, just to get some extra gold. So that's just a Season 1 tip for preparing for Season 2. The next thing from Season 1 to Season 2 is that your honor will not be resetting. So if you want to just gear up really fast when the servers come up tomorrow, just don't spend your honor, because you'll be able to just buy full honor gear. And it's very important to note that that honor gear will be significantly higher level than this conquest gear. Item level is getting bumped up even more than it normally is for Season 2 in general. So the honor gear is going to be massively stronger. So if you just cap your honor right now while you are likely fully geared, or it's just easier to cap honor for yourself, you're just going to be decked out and ready to wreck. And you can also, cap multiple honor pools and gear up multiple characters to test classes to see which class is going to be the best fit for you before the season actually officially begins and you can start getting conquest. Because when conquest comes out, you've got to make a decision on what spec you want to play, because you're limited on how much conquest you get, and you can't get every stat combination available to you. So those are my Season 1 to Season 2 main prep tip advice: is cap your honor, keep it there, don't bother converting it into gold, because these vicious stones or infused heliotropes don't even really sell for much anymore. But the conquest boxes, when you DE the gear, can sell for a lot. So if you are sitting on a character, just get level 1 enchanting, send that over. That's going to give you the best bang for your buck. Now, the next tip is that you're going to want to go into the LFG tab, you're going to want to go into PvP, and you're going to want to go into Training Grounds. So in Season 1, they implemented Battleground Training Grounds. They're also going to implement Arena Training Grounds, which aren't here obviously right now because I'm on Season 1, but in Season 2 there will be. This area will give you just like 2 PvP trinkets for free. So if you didn't cap your honor and you feel like you're behind on gear and you're just starting out in Season 2, queuing for this Training Grounds will give you 2 PvP trinkets right off the rip. So I highly recommend that be one of the first things that you do, is log in, and there will likely be quests similarly to the Training Grounds for Battlegrounds last time around. I'm expecting them either to be on this character here with the weekly quests, which I highly recommend you check anyways. Check this character out every week to see what quests are here, because you'll be able to accelerate your conquest gear, accelerate your honor gears, get some bloody tokens, pick up some extra gold. So I do recommend you check out this NPC. There's also another NPC over here by these repeatable quests that currently have the Battleground quest. So the Training Ground Arena quest might go over here as well. These are just kind of like quick ways to get into the game if you're just starting completely fresh for Season 2 and you're not like me or like someone else who may have like a couple characters that kind of geared. They have the honor. If you're just starting completely from scratch, those Training Grounds are going to be really good just to practice your character, test out talent builds, and get some honor as well to be able to buy gear from the honor vendor if you didn't already have it, and to get trinkets just jacked right into your character right at the beginning. So I do recommend that. That's our Season 1 transition. That's our initial kind of gearing phase. Other than that, after you've got your honor, it's going to be the same show bang here. You're going to go to the honor quartermaster. This vendor will have a whole bunch of new gear that's significantly higher item level. You're going to obviously want to optimize your character for whatever specialization that it is that you're going for, whether you're desiring haste, mastery, crit, and the like. So this is going to be your main go-to vendor. The next important thing to note is that this gear from the conquest vendor, when you pick up main set gear, let's say like right here, for example, this helmet on the vendor says haste versatility, but my tier set helmet says haste mastery, right? And that's how tier gear has worked. Typically in the past, you'd purchase one of these items. I can give you an example here. And then you could go to the catalyst and you could convert it into tier gear. Now, when you convert gear in Season 2, it's going to retain its stats. So in Season 1, you can see the stats change when you put this in. Oh, this is a belt, not the best example. But if you have a main set piece of gear, which I don't know if I do on me right now, you'll see that the stats change. Next season, they won't. Next season, they will preserve their stats. So you'll be able to min-max your tier gear to give you the most desirable stats, so you can actually wear your set bonus. Without losing versatility, basically, was the main downside of that. So you do want to note that as a point of interest. Now, not all of the classes, unfortunately, on the Conquest vendor have the ideal combination. I'm thinking mostly about leather agility users. Leather agility users usually want like a lot of mastery and versatility. I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do about that. So like if there is an example of this, maybe there isn't actually, but okay, maybe this is a bad example. This is a bad example, I guess. But I guess actually not for Druid here. So I would typically want haste versatility gloves, right? But the gloves on the vendor only have mastery and they only have crit. And so if I buy one of these and convert them, it will retain these stats. I don't know if there's a way to decide whether, like, if they have baseline stats that you can convert them to that might have haste versatility that this doesn't, because otherwise there is going to be some issues getting your most ideal stats if this is the only gear that you can convert, because I don't believe you can convert crafted gear into tier gear. That is something that I will try to test to my ability if you can convert crafted gear into tier gear. If you can't, some classes will likely have some of these pieces. You'll probably just want to avoid that one piece. Hopefully it only is one piece, and then you can craft a piece there and get the 4-set through other means, or maybe you'll just avoid the 4-set depending on the power of your class. And Healing Rain Resto Shamans, for some reason you guys, they really like going after that Healing Rain. But you do want to note that this is happening. So when you're going for this, you're going to hopefully be able to get your 4-set with the most ideal stats, but unfortunately not every stat combination exists on the Conquest vendor. I really wish they would, like, just add a 3rd pair of boots, a 3rd pair of bracers, and just slap, like, why not just have every combination on the vendor? This gear is not good in PvE. It's not intruding there at all. I don't understand why they don't. Just make every combination of gear, just add a 3rd helmet, a 3rd chest, 3rd legs, 3rd shoulders for every armor type, and just fill it, right? Like, there's no crit shoulders. Just fill in the crit shoulders, fill in the crit legs, fill in the crit chest. And I kind of wish they would just do that to make sure that this isn't going to be an issue at all, but you do want to be aware of it. The next thing too is that there is kind of this invisible quest whenever you're queuing rated PvP. So let's say you farmed all your honors. This won't happen until week 2. So week 1 is just get your full honor gear. There's not going to be anything else available. So most of you are probably going to log in and just have everything. If you didn't, because you're starting from scratch, do the training grounds, get your stuff done from the training grounds so you have all your full honor gear. And then on week 2, the season will officially start. You'll be able to queue up the rated PvP modes. And then in those rated PvP modes, once you've concluded them, you'll sometimes just get a random quest that's given to you. And the quest will give you heraldries, which are currently on the Conquest vendor right now, but and I think they will be at the start. But use these to make crafted pieces. And those are very important, especially if you don't have the right stat allocation on a certain piece. So if you want to, fully optimize your gear, like the gearing up before, the main purpose of this was to get the right embellishments. And I was using main set pieces to get the embellishments, because a lot of these main set pieces, you wouldn't use the tier because it wouldn't have the right stats. But now that's not going to be the case, because the tier will have the right stats. You may not need to do this. However, it is still, my understanding, that's going to be a better upgrade early on, because this is a free set of main set gear that's going to give you a stat boost just right at the beginning of the season. So crafting like that one piece that doesn't fit the set bonus off of these conquest pieces, I think still probably will likely be the go-to, because it's just going to give you the highest amount of primary stat, which is really important, and the primary stat is going up a lot more than the previous season. So that's still my recommendation when you're gearing up, as far as picking like which items should be your first crafted piece. I would recommend that you pick a main set piece that you're not going to use for your tier, and you decide that by if it doesn't have the right stats. So like for me, next season it'd probably be the gloves, because there is no haste versatility gloves if I'm playing a balanced druid. And I want haste on my gear. So that would be my recommendation for you there. Those are kind of just the main staples. It is a lot easier. If you really don't want to do crafted gear, don't do it, but it is a pretty big disadvantage, because it's basically 1 or 2, maybe 3, depending on which pieces you pick, that you're going to have up as far as a leg on the competition. So I would recommend that after you complete a rated PvP mode, that you pay attention to that quest, and then you go and interact with the crafting table and make your crafted gear there with the embellishments, because it's a free piece of gear and it has a bonus embellishment on it. You kind of want to make sure that you're doing that before you move into it. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Omnium Folio. This is something that a lot of players either don't know exists or just kind of CBA doing it because it's a lot of PvE quests, right, in order to unlock it. But this is available for the whole expansion. And right now, the main thing is this one. I would recommend you at least do it up to the Rune of the Versatile Warrior, because when this procs, it can give you sometimes upwards of 10% versatility. The rest of it is maybe 1 to 2% damage, and reasonably negligible, but this power does give you a lot, and it likely will get upgraded and enhanced at the end of season 2. And I don't know if they have plans to do catch up for it. Maybe wait and see what happens at the start of the season. I do believe that you have to do the campaign, and then you got to do another leg of quests after that. It is quite arduous to get through this. Maybe they'll acknowledge that and make it easier to catch people up, because I think even PvEers, just the average player probably doesn't even know this thing exists. So I think it could be an issue for gearing up, but it's something to just be aware of, right? That is different if you're coming back to PvP for Midnight, and something that you definitely want to consider as far as making sure that your character is as optimal as possible for the beginning of it. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this breakdown and this rundown. I hope it's given you some useful tips to maximize your account and make your experience as smooth as possible. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.